You're watching another new car spin. I'm Brian, and this is the Lexus LX600. I drove one of these last year, except the one that they launched with in the United States was the hybrid. This one is just the non-hybrid twin-turbo V6, 407 horsepower, something like that. $121,000. Now, that may sound like a lot of money, but let me put this all into perspective. By the way, if you like and subscribe this video, and if you are a subscriber, I appreciate it very much, because yesterday, May 3rd, was my 9-year anniversary of this channel. I've been doing this for 9+ years. I have another channel that I started with called Diesel Drives, and obviously Dieselgate happened, and I had to pivot, and I pivoted to New Car Spin, and here we are, 9 years later. Here we are, still doing car reviews in Texas. At least this time I'm driving a press car with Texas plates instead of California plates. I had quite the awful streak of California plates on some press cars here in Texas for like weeks. 5 weeks? Yeah, it was brutal. But it's good to be back in a Texas plated car. So what is it about this car? Obviously, a lot of people love the Toyota Land Cruiser, which is what this is based on in the rest of the world. But here in the US, we get a different vehicle now, and they call it the Land Cruiser. But I look at this, and I look at the current state of the country right now, and I go, okay, we are on like the precipice of an amazing boom, an amazing growth. I mean, despite what you hear on YouTube from these idiots that say there's doom and gloom and blah, 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 and these millennials that take 20 minutes to get to the point on their videos, look at where we are. We have no longer a V8 in, well, the last V8 Lexus is going to be the LC500, but the V8 is no longer in the Land Cruiser. The Land Cruiser is no longer a Land Cruiser, and in order to get a real Land Cruiser, which is what this is, you have to get a Lexus LX600. This one is a luxury version. It's got $121,000 price tag, and you might think that's really expensive, and Brian, why don't you off-road it? And the fact is, no one buying this new today is going to off-road it. They may put their little dog in it, but they're not going to off-road it because it's too freaking expensive to off-road. But we do have the lifting suspension. We have approach and departure sonar, which is finally on a vehicle. I mean, they're finally smart enough to use sonar for approach and departure angles, which is great. We do have these side steps which do hinder getting in and out of the vehicle. They should have been automatic deploying, but they're not. A roof rack and all that other stuff. Big grill. I think the color of this green is nori, like the seaweed. Yep, that's the one. Nori green pearl. I like it, but I think I would like a white one better. And let's get into this real quick, because I think I'd actually want to talk to you about something here, because 121,000 sounds like a lot, but it's nowhere near Range Rover money. And that's always been the battle, right? If you want to get there, get a Land Rover. If you want to get back, get a Land Cruiser. That's what they say. But I look at this and I go, 121,000 is a lot, but why didn't they bring this into the US as a Land Cruiser with just a standard suspension and less gizmos and price it in the price range it was at normally? They could definitely do that, but they don't. In the rest of the world, it wouldn't matter, because in the rest of the world, they're buying diesel versions of it anyway, which we don't get here yet. We might get them. Don't quote me on that. But here's what I'm saying. We look at the current state of the economy, we look at the current state of vehicles, and we're done with EVs. That's in the past. Like it or not, they're going away. And we're coming back to reality, common sense, because we are at peak engine. 407 or 411 horsepower out of a twin-turbo V6, and you can stuff it in a vehicle this size. And they can engineer weight savings and then add on a raising suspension and all this other stuff. I mean, this is the latest and greatest, right? Just like our Range Rover, the latest and greatest. Except the Range Rover can hit top out, I think, at $280,000. This is 121, and it's not the executive rear seat package. So put this in perspective, right? Yesterday was not only my 9-year anniversary, yesterday was also the day that Warren Buffett announced that he's retiring. Now, all these doomers and gloomers and hobnobs are like, why is Warren Buffett hoarding cash? He must think the economy's tanking. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's going to disagree, and everyone's going to say, no, do this, no, do that. But then they point to Warren Buffett, who's like apparently some kind of oracle. I think he's an oligarch. But now we know why he was hoarding all that cash, because yesterday he announced he was retiring. And that makes sense. You want to limit the impact of your stock price and everything, you hold cash, right? And I think the people that buy this car already know that. They're holding cash. But I want to put that in perspective, right? Because Doge is actively saving money, and Warren Buffett has already saved money, right? Doge is saying, oh, look at this. We saved $165 billion so far, which sounds like a lot of money. Like, this sounds like a lot of money at 121,000, right? But Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, you know how much cash they have on hand? Cash. They're sitting on cash. $347.7 billion in cash. Yes, that's twice as much as what Doge has saved. And the same thing, the Range Rover costs twice as much as this Lexus. And that's what I want to get to here, because while this may seem like a lot of money and ridiculous, it is 2025, boys and girls, and this is going to be an expensive car. No matter what you want, you're going to be paying for it. But what are you getting for it? Well, you're getting the same thing you would expect out of a Lexus. Power folding seats, power outlet, blah, 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 third row, although it's not the best third row, apparently. But this isn't a Tahoe. This isn't a Suburban. This isn't a big American piece of It's basically, can I close it from the trunk key? Yeah, good. Okay. Come on. It does have soft closed doors, by the way. And it may look like not big of a back seat, but when you do have the setting I have enabled here, when you turn the vehicle off and open the door, the driver's seat will make room. So you can disable that just in case you got back passengers or whatever. Let's just say in my week with this car, beyond my allergies, I have found some flaws here. Number one, let's talk about the good things. The brand new Lexus smell. They delivered this to my house with 300 miles on it. They have these funky little covers here, like totally grandma style, for the screens. They don't come off very easily, and they don't go on easily, so you just kind of don't even want to use them. Perfect. It's like, the car of personal limits. Rear controls for your seat ventilation, heating, blah, blah, blah. Right. Built-in shades. It's kind of nice. Look at these. Look at these. If you buy one of these used, make sure, if you have these rear seat screens, that make sure that your car came with that Mark Levinson headphones. And this one was tuned by Savion Thompson. Nice. Good work. I haven't tried them out. Are they Bluetooth? Yeah. That's kind of cool. So yeah, these are definitely disappearing. Whether the kids steal them or the dealer employees steal them at the used car lot, I'll fix that later. You want to get in the car? Come on. Get in the car. I'll pick you up. Come on. All right, run away. See ya. You take it seriously, don't you? All right, we do have soft closed doors, which we expected a car in this price range. Real wood, very nice leather. Good color, actually. Seats are pretty comfortable. They are massage. Full massage here. Full massage, which is nice. Very nice. Electronically adjustable steering wheel, which I am a sucker for. Look at that. Even a trailer brake controller, right? So it's got a lot of good things going for it. Towing capacity is like 8,000 pounds. Although, when are you ever going to see one of these towing? Maybe a Hobie Cat on a trailer or something. Maybe a jet ski, but not. Well, in Australia, you would see them towing a little. What do they call those little compact camper things? Anyway, very nice interior design. Stereo is a 3D stereo. I actually think it sounds better in 2D, but that's just my opinion. That's my hearing. Everything sounds like it's coming from behind the screen when you're sitting in it. The biggest weird thing I have here is you can tell this is a Land Cruiser in the rest of the world, because I went to fill it up with fuel and I'm like, normal $100,000 car thing, you just push it here and it opens. And I look inside, I'm like, okay, where's the button? Where's the button? Where's the button to open the fuel filler flap? Where is the button? And then I'm like, hey, you can't be serious. I can't even see it because it's just, it's, what is that? Impressed? I don't know. There's an impression on there, but there's no, it doesn't scream out, hey, on the fuel filler flap. But you have to manually pull that in a $121,000 car. That's just ridiculous. And I think that this kind of puts it into perspective. Yeah, they could bring in the regular Land Cruiser. They could get rid of that fancy suspension. And they could bring it at a price point of like $85,000. But why? You don't deserve it? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Leave a comment below. You have to buy one of these. And it's not a little easy, look how big this thing is. I mean, you're not going to be off-roading that until it's maybe 20 years old. So I'm not going to off-road it for you. In this video, at least. These steps do make it easy. Grab that handle, 3 points of contact. Just get up on here on the roof. Still no panoramic roof. Pretty big roof size, though. I'm not sure of the roof capacity, but I think it's time to get in this thing and start it up. Actually, before I do that, let me pop the hood. My allergies, I'm going nuts. Yeah. Look at that. They definitely make it easy for you to replace the air filter. Just pop, 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 in, out, whatever. Or even check for, like on the Land Rover, some of them have screws you have to undo, which takes a long time. If we look at the design of the air intake here, compared to the Land Rover, air's coming in on the side. So I think it's coming in down here. I don't know if you really have as much weighting depth as you do in the Range Rover, the Discovery, all that. They can go up to, what is that, 290 millimeters, close to 3 feet of water, basically up to their door handles. I'm not so sure on this one. So, you know, there's differences. I mean, you may just be like, oh, you get what you pay for, but look at that, 0W20. I know that this Lexus LX600 hybrid version, when they came out with it in 2024, had a recall on their engines, but this 2025, this one is not the hybrid. You'd have to get the LX700H to get that engine again, which is basically the same engine but with a hybrid drive. Okay, did I do that right? Yeah. Try not to slam it. The thing. So I would wash it. It rained this week, but this car they delivered to me with 300 miles, and if I take it to a car wash and they scratch it, I would ruin it for every automotive journalist out there that has to take photos of it. So I let Lexus wash it. They don't live too far away from me. They're about 15 miles from my house. Their actual headquarters in North America. So I'm glad that they let me have this car for the week. But I feel like I should take care of it. But then again, I don't want to mess it up. Let's get inside. So one thing I noticed is like this opening here, right? Compared to the previous gen, I had a hard time getting in the previous gen because the roof shape, the A-pillar, the roof was a little lower, the seat was high up. You couldn't just really go in head first or feet first. You had to have a different way of getting in. The Range Rover, I can get in no problem, being that I'm 6 feet tall. It's just that in this one, that handle helps, but really, like, I still have issues to get in without hitting my head if I go foot first. Like if I go this way, which is how I normally get in the vehicle, not fun. That's not fun. And I just don't understand. Is it the seat's too high or the roof's too low? So instead, I have to go head first, like this, lean into the car, and then jump up on the seat. Without that handle, I don't know how I do it. Hey, George. See ya. Start this up. Yep, we got multiple screens. We got all that. Here's the deal. Android CarPlay, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Sorry, I'm on a really strong antihistamine right now. Right now we're on the standard GPS, which really isn't GPS because it doesn't do dead reckoning. It actually has to use satellites, and then you have to pay for a subscription to see the map, which is not ideal, and I already trashed the Toyota TRD Pro Tacoma because of that. You need real navigation, and unfortunately we just don't have that. Even with Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, we still don't have that. You might have a GPS antenna in the phone that's connected to the car, but you still need a cell phone reception. You still need reception to find the point of interest you're looking for, or even to get your traffic information or whatever. So let's bypass that real quick and let's get to the fact that yes, this does have massage seats, but there's no button. There is no button to activate them. We do have a cool box, by the way, which is cool. So we have a screen here which shows me the status of the suspension. We still have that button, which I read about it once. I don't remember what it is. It looks like a crash button, but I don't know what that does. Climate concierge, which I keep off. Multi-terrain select, which it's going to stay in drive mode because we're just going to select between the modes. One thing you don't have to do in a Range Rover is choose how you want your suspension. We have 3 button blanks here. That's a worry. I don't know if that's for the rest of the market or just from a Toyota Land Cruiser. I don't know. These are the infrared camera scope thing that check you for your paying attention to the road when you're driving. They don't have a very long tolerance. It's like 5 seconds, and then it's like, hey, keep looking at the road. So if you're distracted by looking for the button for your seat massage, you're going to be constantly told, hey, quit screwing around. You got to be driving, silly. So here's the problem. If you're an Android Auto, which we default to in this car with my phone, I have to go here. So that's 1 click. I have to go here, which is another click. Oh, wait. Yep, that's 3rd click. So we went from Android Auto to the regular nav. 3rd click is to... That's the 3rd click I'm looking for. 4th click, seat controls. 5th click, massage. 6th. Okay, now we have massage. They couldn't just do a button. They couldn't just put it here on this screen. I mean, I don't understand. You know, the Infiniti Q50 that people hate because it's like antiquated, but it has 2 screens and they don't match. I still like that Q50. And obviously that's a Nissan product and we're sitting here in a Toyota product. I don't know why Toyota didn't do, you know, we got climate and comfort and all this stuff here, but I don't see seats. Oh, the heated seats are on over there. What? Well, that's weird. Anyway, we do have multiple screen settings here. I can choose between different views on that screen. Yeah. Yeah, $121,000. There you go. It basically here. If I drove it, I would just tell you one thing. You know those rocking horses when you're a little kid? Like there's a horse with a spring on each corner, right? And then you get on it and you just kind of rock back and forth like you're riding a horse. Because of this suspension, that's what it feels like. And I said this in the Lexus RX and the Lexus NX. I don't know why, but Lexus does this on all their SUVs. I hate it. When I'm actually driving this thing, I can see the hood bobbing up and down. It's not porpoising really, but it feels like I'm driving a 25-year-old Toyota Land Cruiser with a blown shock. And it just goes, it doesn't make any noise, but it just goes bouncy, 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 bouncy. And that's on roads like this, concrete with expansion joints, smooth roads, brand new roads, it'll do it. But if I'm off-road, yeah, there's articulation and there's like movement and it doesn't bounce around. So you got to keep that in mind. $121,000, not a Range Rover. All right, the Range Rover is completely different. So let's compare it to the Land Cruiser, different vehicle. So this is kind of like out there on its own. The only close thing I would say is the Armada, and not the Sequoia, because the Sequoia hybrid has the battery pack in the trunk area, which makes the trunk totally unusable with the stupid three level shelf. So what I'm getting at here is you got to get with the times. There's cash, there's treasuries, and then there's Bitcoin. And unfortunately, people who have this car don't know what Bitcoin is. They're afraid of Bitcoin. They're not going to ever go near Bitcoin. And they're just not in tune with the younger generation, the future. They're just not, they don't care. So I think you know what that means is this vehicle is just, I'm not going to say it's like a polished turd at all. It's just an updated, modernized version of something that is to capture the audience and keep people happy. But they're not doing it for the Land Cruiser Toyota fanboys. They're doing it for people who just want that Lexus that they've always been dreaming of during their retirement. If you get what I'm saying. There we go. Looks good in this color. Would I get one? No. I'd have a Range Rover. But I do like the V6 in this. I do like the seats. The air conditioning is a little weird. The ride quality is definitely different than a Range Rover. I don't have to make any adjustments in a Range Rover, whereas I do here. So if I wanted Japanese reliability and I wanted to stick with the Japanese brand and maybe get a good deal on this, that's what I would do. I would just get this for the deal, and I would just say, yeah, I'm gonna buy it, and it's gonna be the last car I ever buy. And yeah, the dealer will never see me again. Unlike the Range Rover dealer. That's a whole different story. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I got to the point. My point is, I'm trying to get the dog in the car. That's my whole point. But yeah, the V6 is great. I don't think you need the hybrid. The fuel economy is not that great either. But I hope one day they bring the diesel version into the United States, because drill baby drill and all this other stuff that's going on, we no longer have to make sacrifices. Okay, that's my whole point. If Doge can save money, but Warren Buffett can save double that money and go retire with Berkshire Hathaway flooding with cash, and where's that cash going to go? It's got to go somewhere, okay? Then it's coming. So despite all the doom and gloom and the crap you're hearing, look, it's working. Do it. Go. Jump. Jump. Okay. What I'm saying is you just need to be patient, okay? And you'll be looking at one of these maybe in 12 months, and it'll be no problem. This will seem like Toyota Land Cruiser money to you in 12 months. I guarantee it. Like and subscribe. Definitely leave a thumbs up on that if you're down for that plan, okay? And I hope you all take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Just kidding, I wouldn't tease you like that. I'm gonna drive it. I can't really duplicate the porpoising because they picked the car up in the morning and I want to get this video up to you tonight, Sunday night. I hope you appreciate that. See, it doesn't like that. I'm not looking at the road all the time. Let's go to the right. My favorite little place to shoot video. I'm gonna get a drone. What do you think? Should I get a drone so I can do like a follow Steadicam shot, so you can actually see the car from the outside as I'm driving? It'd be kind of cool. Anyway, this is one of those concrete roads, and I don't think you could see the hood bouncing, but at a higher speed, definitely around 50 miles an hour, it just rides like that in the front. I see it on the hood. Now we get rough. We get some rocks in the rear road here. All right. And it irons it out. It's just flat. It's like, oh, I got that worked out. It's almost like psychopathic. I mean, no, psychedelic? No, telepathic. It's like predicting the road and just doing everything it can to flatten it out. And I find that very interesting. I find it well worth the money. But you have to turn this knob here, right? So you have to be in drive mode and then turn the knob, and then you can change between these different modes. So I'll go into normal mode. And then you have sport mode and all that. I think it should just be automatic to your speed. Look, I just watched those people walking and it tell me, look forward. Anyway, you can't make, this is where I shoot my car in the morning on Mondays, but here we are on Sunday. Basically, I have no doubt, like, you would enjoy the way this rides better than not a Lexus, a Mercedes GLS. But you're not really buying a GLS for anything that you would buy a Land Cruiser / LX for, right? So that's kind of what I'm trying to say, is it's this or Armada, and obviously the Armada is less money, so you're going to pay more attention to the luxury goods and stuff like that for the money you're paying, and it's kind of important. It's no different than these truck buyers. It's like, oh, Ford, oh, Chevy, oh, Ram. You know, you can be brand loyal all you want, but if you don't watch this video because you're cross-shopping it to a Range Rover, you're never going to know what you're missing out on, or what you could have had. I don't know. So that's my point. I'm driving this thing along. It's not the hybrid. The massage, I will turn on when I press power here. So I guess that's 6 clicks. Yep. 6 clicks to get your massage if you were in Android Auto right there, or Apple CarPlay. Either way, that's pretty annoying. Like, where's the button, Lexus? Give me that button. That's my complaint. And then riding on this rough road, even if I go for the rough stuff, yeah, it feels normal. In normal mode, it feels like an off-road truck. I mean, it feels like a Tundra in here. Driver and attention detection, look forward. So I'm kind of limited to what I can tell you about this vehicle because, number one, 682 miles. So fuel economy, this thing is not broken in. I can't really tell you anything about fuel economy. It's just inappropriate to comment. I will say, like, the number you see there is about right, but it's not what I would expect from this later down the line. So we also have this camera here too, which if you've got a full trunk space back there, it's nice to have a camera that you can see out. Although I don't like these cameras because of the perspective difference between normal and camera mode. My depth perception, my eyes adjust faster to a normal mirror than they do to the camera. Anyway, otherwise, you know, for $121,000, it's better than a lot of stuff out there. I would say cross shop this to an Armada, cross shop it to a Sequoia. I think you'll notice some instant differences. And I tell you, in 12 months, this vehicle, I mean, I think these things will be selling like hotcakes. Because everyone's going to need the tax write-off, and everyone's going to be making a ton of money. And they're actually, the last tax write-off ever in their life will probably be for 2025, when you think about it. That's how crazy it's going to get. Have a good one.